Here we go. Welcome to Heartland Radio 2.0. We're live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Pat is not with us. Evan Foxy is not with us. Pat's speaking to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's a great cause.
Yeah,
great cause.
Making the world a better place.
Yeah,
much better person than we are.
Yeah, we're just here being a bunch of schleps, like usual. But I'm here to tell you this. We're all about live sporting events, and live comedy shows, and musicals, all the things that you can buy tickets to. We only use SeatGeek for it because they're the best on the planet, in the moon.
Yes, that is correct.
At getting you the best value for your book. What they do is they search all the other ticket platforms and they say, hey, you got this much money to spend? This is the best place to put your ass during that live performance.
Correct.
And they get it done. There's no catfishing. You get exactly what you think you're getting. Nothing beats being there in person for the biggest plays of the year. And SeatGeek will get you closer to the action for a great value. Live a little, experience a lot. Every purchase is fully guaranteed, so shop with complete confidence on SeatGeek. Best of all, our listeners get $10 off their first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter the promo code Heartland. That's promo code Heartland for $10 off your first SeatGeek purchase.
I mean, look at this guy right now. He's got a fucking California Seal shirt on.
I'm on vacation.
A backwards Hurley hat. No shoes.
No shoes. Get 'em. I'm on vacation, boys.
Shoes on.
It's Memorial Day weekend, late for me.
It was a ballsy move, too. I just saw Todd walk in the bathroom, take a piss at the urinal.
And as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, this probably wasn't smart. And then I get to the urinal, floor's wet.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
wet 24/7 back there.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on? Why is our floor always wet in the bathtub?
It's the most splashy urinal of all
It
time.
really is. I wore shorts yesterday and
It's everywhere.
pissed all over my legs. Like
It does bounce back up
yeah.
there.
Big time.
I don't know what it is.
the urinal cake doesn't do a goddamn thing.
No, it's sideways right now. Like the force of our streams has just rotated
Why
that.
do they make it like a shield? And you like put your dick in the hole,
Why
and
is-
like it bounces back at you.
Why isn't it spongy so it absorbs the piss instead of splashing
seems
it
like a
back
better
on
idea.
my
Thing
body?
does?
What, you want to stick our dicks in like a garbage can?
Yeah, kind of. Like it will be like a kind of like a bank teller hole, but then it'll be like in front of the
Not
urinal.
fucking a hole to take a piss.
Back home again in India.
Speaking of that song,
You wore that shirt for
the Indy 500 just happened, and we have in the studio with us friend of the show,
Wow.
IndyCar driver, just finished 10th
Top 10, baby.
Let's go.
in this year's running of the Indianapolis 500.
engine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Conor Daly.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Good to be back here.
Good to see
be
you,
back,
man.
good to
friends.
have you back.
Good to have
Nice to have you back.
You guys look great.
A lot to go over. I'm going to start, Todd, if I may, real
Just
quick.
jump right in there.
Let me just go real quick.
Jim Neighbors.
No.
He doesn't even know you.
The other drivers. Connor, the other drivers, are y'all chimmy chum? Hey, have a good race today. Or are you guys like, fuck you, I'll bury you in your wall if you get near me?
You know what? I was pretty chummy with everyone previously, like last year, because I knew I didn't really have a chance at anything. So I was like, hey, guys, you guys have a good one out there. I'm going to try and stay out of the way and have a nice day. This year was way different, even like with my teammates, like even with Alex. I listened to Alex on the show, on your guys' show,
Yeah.
or the Pat's show, just this morning. And like he didn't talk to me really that much this month of May, which is not normal. And because like we realized sort of after like day 2 or 3 or 4, like we had a pretty fast car. Like our car was good, and we noticed that. And then I was like, like I don't know if I want to share what I have on my car with any of these guys, but like. There's a lot of good drivers on the Andretti team, so it was really interesting to see. It was definitely a way different approach mentally, physically, everything this year for sure. Once you got through like day 2, and we realized that we're in a bit of a competitive spot here.
Big difference being on the Andretti team for you, right?
Yeah,
I mean, just going in knowing they're going to do things the right way. This car is going to be solid at worst.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, right? It was, at worst, we were upset. Like during the practice week, we sort of ended up every day like 17th, 18th, 19th, and that was in no way the speed of our car. But every day, you know, someone goes out there and throws up a big lap in the draft, big speeds, all this stuff. And we just sort of were working away, doing our thing. And I was actually getting really mad because I was telling Michael Andretti, I said, Michael, honestly, I need to go out there and get one of those big PR laps, like public relations laps, because this is my only shot that I've got for my career right now. This is it. Like, this is the one chance I have. And it makes a big difference, even if it's just practice. No one cares. Yeah, you got a big toe, cool. But like, you have to have that, right? And so we got to Fast Friday, and you know the boost goes up. We're trying to focus on qualifying, and realistically, you know, at the end of that day, like we had a good day. Like we were third all day or something like that, and it was fun. The car was going well. And then we go out for the last run, and it was not timed at all. But like we had just made one more change on the car that was like really solid, and we go out and just throw out a heater of a lap, and I was like, oh boy, this one's gonna be the one. And it was 231.7 or something. I was like, it was the fastest lap I'd ever done at the track by a long way. We topped out at like 243 down the back straight, and I was like, yeah, she was motoring down the. And as soon as I finished that lap, because we were on another one that was pretty good too. But I had to lift because we were going so fast that we were catching the other guys, and I was like, oh, okay, we're safe. I think we're good. Like, we don't need to push this because it was like the last 5 minutes of the session. But it was that day, like Fast Friday, we were fastest, and, you know, press conferences, all this stuff. But, like, I think someone had texted me that I was, like, trending in the USA for, like, a certain period of time just for doing that. And so, like, it's just practice, right? But it's so important because people pay attention.
Yeah.
And so it was an important day for us, and that was when it really sort of started to take off really for the rest of the month.
Trust me, when I saw it on Twitter and Instagram,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at fucking Conor.
They're going ape shit.
I know, but it's like but it's one of those things that, I mean, it was so fun, and people I even almost started crying. It was just practice. I was like, when I got out of the car, my mom was weeping in pit lane, and my dad didn't do anything, but he just sort of looked at me like, all right, I'm not upset about you now. that was one of those things, and I was like, well, this is fun. Like, this is way better than being last.
Did you let Rossi pass you?
No, I did not. But someone asked me that question in a serious manner. You know who it was? It was another driver,
that wasn't
James
serious?
Davison.
Did I just ask you? It wasn't serious enough?
I couldn't take you serious. Your face just didn't say it. But another driver was like, hey, so did you let Alex pass for strategic reasons because he's in the Champions? I was like, no. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, not at all. He was just like really fast.
I don't know if you got to hear the broadcast because they were like, "Oh,
I haven't watched it yet."
They were like, "Rossi's coming up on Daly," and he's like, "They were like, we'll see if it's easier for him because they used to be roommates." Blah blah. And they were like, "Nope, doesn't look no."
I threw a block at the last one. I was like, "Oh shoot, he's coming!" And before that restart too, because I was lining up just behind Alex on the restart. I was like, here we go. I said under yellow to my spot, I said, the Rossi Daily train's about to be coming here. And he goes, choo choo. And I wish someone would have played that because it was so well timed. And then Michael was like, all right, yeah, let's see it. And I was like, okay, shoot, I got to do something here. And then we passed Alex and we passed Bourdais. And I was like, yep, all right, fine, here we go. We're in it now. It was funny.
So how many laps were you in the top 5? Do you know?
It was from about it was like the top 7-ish from the top 6 from lap. It was after lap 120, I think 120 to lap 180 when the red flag came. Really.
Yeah, because that was different for us. Like I was fishing and listening to it on my phone live.
It's an American
and I'm
thing
like,
to do.
holy shit, this is so fucking cool. Like Conor's in it right now.
Yeah, I was driving and I had it up on my NBC Sports app, on the dash, from those laps, 120 to 180.
Yeah, that's about when I clued in. Because I'm like, holy shit, I think you were 5th when the first time I heard them call the positions, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Well, it was one of those days. Like we had a good start. Like we immediately sort of were in 8th and sort of just running around. You know, you gotta get into that race, and you know, for our guys, it's a one race a year type of group, right? But they all do it for Andretti every year for that team, and they're all really good, experienced people. But still, it doesn't matter. You know, a lot of the other teams I was the only one-off guy that was running that high. So all the other teams that we're fighting against are in the pit stop competition. They're doing this every weekend. So, you know, we'd start to figure out, all right, first pit stop, second pit stop, sort of figuring out how everything was going. We'd try to make some front wing adjustments, which take a little bit longer, and so that was hurting us a little bit. So I'd fall back at least in a position. But then we'd make that up, and it was really hard to pass, but we could do it. And so I was like, the only cars that I actually saw passing anyone was me and Alex. And I was like, man, I think Alex and I are like going here. It was like halfway through the race, and I was like, this is kind of cool. Like Alex is moving, and then I'm moving, and I was like, I think we're going to the front. And that was when I was like really, really motivated to like just, all right, we need to make the right final change to really nail it and just have. I hope everything keeps going the way it was. And yeah, it was just, it was about after the second pit stop when we get to halfway. There was a couple yellows. We'd take advantage of some restarts. Where it just kept getting better. We were improving the car, we were getting faster, and then we started running with even faster people, and so it's exactly how you would want that race to play out, right? You just stay in the top 10 all day. It wasn't easier than my previous races, but it was just, there's not a lot more you have to go forward, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you're there, and you're like, hey, if I need to take advantage of something, boom, you can do it, or you have an opportunity to at least do it.
Was it you or Rossi that got fucked by the wing adjustment at the end?
It was me.
Yeah, because even Michael came forward, right?
Which, and that's a shame, but it's not. I mean, it's just racing, right? Like, we wanted to make the wing adjustment, and I think that I said at the last minute that I didn't want to make it, but the guys thought that we were going to do it, so we lost a little bit there.
Yeah, it took some speed from you.
Yeah, but then Graham and Sebastian literally destroyed each other right in front of me and destroyed the wall. And I was like, perfect, this is very helpful for me. I've actually never felt someone else hit the wall through the air. And like,
Really?
I felt that. So when Sebastian and Graham hit each other, I was like, ooh, yikes. And Sebastian goes up towards the wall, and I'm low, and he smacks the wall, and I felt it. I felt the air hit the side of my helmet, and I was like, ooh, whoa. And there's a photo of his car like totally up in the air hitting the wall, and I'm right next to it. And so I was like, man, the force that you hit the wall, no matter what it is, it produced such a force that it pushed my head, and I was probably, 30 feet, 40 feet from them, and it's crazy.
That's crazy, but when you think about it, like when a grenade goes off or a bomb, there's a concussion wave that comes off.
It's sort of like
it.
that, because if you're hitting the wall 70, 80 Gs, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a big smack.
Holy shit.
Did you know they were going to hit each other? Like, could you see it?
Oh, yeah. So there's a move that drivers make. Like, if you're committed to a pass, like Bourdais was blocking him, and I was trying to get a run myself because I was like, here, I'm going to get two guys at once. It was a good opportunity. But Graham went so aggressive to the inside, there's no way he was going to back out of there. And I said, oh. you wait for these moments, right? Because then you try and take advantage of it. And Bourdais was in a position in that race where he was just saving his life. Like, he was not fast, but he was there track position-wise, and he was having good pit stops, so he could stay there, and it was hard to pass. So he knew that if he lost that spot, he was never going to get it back. Because I don't think I saw him pass a car ever the whole day. But he knew that, right? Sometimes you're in that position to where you have the track position, you just got to stay there. And he was trying. And I knew Graham was coming from the back, so he was aggressive. So it was those two separate mindsets basically intersecting in the wall. And I loved when I saw Graham essentially getting out to go smack him in the face. I was so proud of that. I was like, oh, all right. I was sitting in my motorhome after the race. I was like, oh, shoot, let's go. Did he hit him? I didn't know. I thought it was fantastic.
Did you feel like you got fucked in the
Restart?
the restart?
Yeah, they
what
put
happened?
Sato in front of us, which I was furious about. I was on the radio, and I was like, I have never seen this man in my entire day today. Where has he been? Didn't even know he was in the race still.
Yeah.
And they put him in front of me, and in the pit lane under the red flag. And someone then had explained to me that while the people were crashing in front of me, he was in the pits. And so while we were dodging debris and chaos, he apparently got to the blend line at the end of the pit lane or something a second before I did. And I was like, what? Like, so because people were crashing in front of me and we're trying to avoid stuff and be safe, he is somehow in front of us? I was like, I had no idea that happened. It was just like one of those totally unlucky situations. And then he, did one of those little moves on the restart, and we were in between gears, and we looked at the data today, and like our first to second gear upshift was totally broken. Essentially, it was like took 5 times the amount of time it should have taken to shift.
Really?
So
That's
we
good gearhead stuff.
Well, I was just one of big lubricants and gear guys here. We didn't have enough. So, honestly, after a red flag like that, that's when you're most vulnerable because after a car has been racing for essentially 460 miles, right? And then you stop it and you expect it to get going again for 20 laps. Like it's dangerous. Like the cars are running hot and I mean, everything's hot. And
Did you expect to win this race? Yourself? Ask
no.
of yourself?
I wanted to finish in the top 5. That's really it. And I thought, I knew when we look at all of our data, everything, we look at every single session, we combine it, we see what people's speeds are, and you sort of see how people run by themselves and in the draft. You can sort of pick out which are the fastest cars. And my team had come to the conclusion that I had the 6th fastest car, essentially. They thought when it comes to looking at everything, and they're like, yeah, we're maybe 6th, 7th fastest car-ish. So I was like, okay, that's cool, that's good. And so, the fact that we were running like 4th, like when it was Simon, Joseph, Ed, and me, I was like, all right, this is good. And now we're now at the top of the boards for Honda, and Alex is right there with me, and it was us 5, really, us 6, I guess. No one else was even close to us. Like every time we were all together, we pulled away from everyone else. So it was like there was that group, and I was like, I'm happy with this group, right? These guys are good. We were pulling away from Bourdais, all the rest of those guys. So I was like, perfect, because I trust Joseph, Simon, and Ed and Alex, right? Those guys are really good to race with. So that was fun. I really wish it didn't go red at the end because it was a great group to be racing with.
Half of them would have ran out of gas too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were other people on different strategies too, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, just it's a different level when you race with those guys. You find yourself on another limit, I guess. Like my limit was survival previously, right? Like whew, I hope I don't die today. And then this time was like I want to win this race. Like, and I want to receive money for for my work, right? And that was what you were sort of thinking about is like there's an opportunity here to have a really good day. And obviously like I saw how the race went via Twitter afterwards, and I was like, oh man, like people were following along, and it was really cool. And I think I really did think it, despite not getting the result that we really should have. To still be in the top 10 and still have, my best month ever there for sure by a long way. I think it helped. Did it move the needle? I don't know.
You shouldn't have to choose between overpriced designer sunglasses and cheap shades that won't last the summer. That's why I'll never wear anything other than Movement sunglasses.
You have said that.
I have. I say it every day. Today's a Wednesday, and I said it. Yeah. You've heard us talk about Movement disrupting the watch industry. Well, now they're doing it again with sunglasses. Whether you're into the more timeless shapes like classic round sunnies or something that makes a statement like Fun 9 skinny frames. Ooh. Those are nice. They've got them all. You don't have to choose between style and function. With Movement, you get both. And with their free shipping and returns policy, try on as many styles as you want right from home. I got the all-black Revelers.
Me too!
What?
Yeah, I got the same ones.
No.
Yeah.
Fucking
Nice.
weird. Because they're the perfect combo of classic and sharp. I can pair them with anything. Movement sunglasses start at $60 and no pair prices over $95. So you're guaranteed to find a style you love with a quality that doesn't break the bank. They've sold over 2.5 million products across more than 160 countries, and their collections are always expanding. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/heartland, mvmt.com/heartland. See why MVMT keeps growing. Check out their expanding collection. Go to mvmt.com/heartland. Join the movement.
Nice.
Did you impress Andretti? Michael say anything to you?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to tell with those guys, you know what I mean? Because their team is full. Like it's a full group. It's a full team. They've got really good drivers, and we had sponsorship for that one race. So we would like to do more. Yes, I think Michael was happy, and I think the rest of the team were pretty happy. So I don't know. I never know who to believe either. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, great job. See you next year. And I'm like, no, I want to be like here next weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I went into this month as a customer, right? We had a sponsor, U.S. Air Force, incredible people, and we essentially paid for Andretti's services, right? You're a part of the team, boom, awesome. But you go in as a customer and you want to come out as like a sought after employee, right? So that would have been my goal.
So I mean, that does happen sometimes, right? Someone
Yeah, I
has
mean,
a
it
good
certainly
fucking
can.
run,
Yeah, I mean,
and then you get a call.
I certainly have never seen more movement on the internet and after the race than I did after this one. I mean, this race is so powerful for our series, right? I mean, Twitter and Instagram, like I've quadrupled like the most liked posts and all this stuff. Like people were actually paying attention. Even people that I've blocked before on Twitter have created new accounts and were like, "Hey, despite all the terrible things I've said about you in the past, I actually think you did a good job." And I was like, "Oh, like cool, like thank you, I appreciate that."
Well,
You know
I
what
mean, it's just incredible to me that people don't realize, like, unless you're with a real legit team, you have no chance.
Well, I mean,
You know what I
it's just
mean?
it becomes a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
It becomes a difficult situation. But even with, I mean, we say that even with that team like Andretti, you have to execute everything
Sure.
perfectly, right? And our team was doing a great job, but even still, like, it's you have to be able to go out there and deliver. And I think I do think we did that. I'm really proud of our effort, the whole team's effort. You know, it's like, what else do you have to do, right? What else?
Right.
That's what I'm looking for next. Is like, yes, winning is obviously the most important, right? But how can you expect to do that against full-time guys who are competing for a championship, who have a lot on the line? I mean,
And you got to rent a
it's
car.
hard. Well, I mean, it's not a rent-a-car.
I
It's
know, but
prepared
you-
well,
yeah.
but I mean, essentially, yeah, I'm a customer, right? I'm coming in, here we go. Like, this is
New
our program.
crew, new
I'm
pit
I'm
stops,
employed for 2
everything,
weeks, right? And,
Yeah.
And so,
So in
It's hard.
your opinion, then, like if you would have got a top 5, does that like guarantee that you're or not necessarily?
no, I don't think so. I mean, I
So
would
the
have been
dri-
more
the-
happy myself. I
Right.
think everyone. It's the fact that we were actually there all day. That's what people notice. Because like, if you luck into a top 5, it's like, oh, cool, like you finished there. But I think it was the fact that people were actually like looking at like. We're actually racing
top 10
people.
all
Right,
And,
you
like, we're-
competed
like,
all
we
day.
never went back. Never fell back below 10th, you know what I mean? Or 11th
Right.
or something like that. And that's what I think people had more respect for. They were like, don't even care that you finished 10th. Great. It's awesome. Like top 10 at Indy is huge, and that's great in general. But I think it was just the fact, and I was happy with that, but I think it's just the fact that the whole race was essentially something that was like, you know, I struggle with patience a lot in the races. We've seen that before, and I think this time I hated a lot of
mature.
people at some point, but like, yeah, I think we matured a little bit and figured situations out, and just was waiting for the end, really.
Well, I assume if you're dropping that kind of money, like that sponsors do.
Yeah.
So if you're U.S. Air Force or whoever, you want to spend money on the car you know it's going to be in that lead pack and in the fight most of the race, right?
Yeah, and they didn't know that, to be fair.
You're going to
'cause
get a lot of TV time.
Yeah, and they had seen me last year qualify last and finish 21st. We never once appeared on the TV broadcast last year. Not once. And so they were like, well, let's triple our investment and go with a better team and see what happens. You know what I mean? And so it was very much like a suck it and see type of situation for them. And it paid off, thankfully.
That's
What?
what
Yeah.
she said.
couldn't handle that one, huh?
I Googled it. So far, Air Force recruiting is up 17%.
Really?
Since
No
that
way,
race.
Connor.
So good job.
All right.
Think about
we'll
it.
What
take
you
it.
did.
Something to think about.
I mean, and that flyover. I mean, were any of
awesome.
you guys actually at the race or not?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. But but the flyover was.
I saw a
mean,
video of it.
dude. If you were there in real life, it was because they got clearance for like the U.S. Air Force. Like really wanted to do it big, and I had talked to the pilots because they flew us in F-16s like a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "Yeah, we're trying to do some like some real." Not been done before type stuff, which is
Really?
like do a lap of the track in the sky, but like at 800 feet or something insane. And that's what they did. They raced around the track. The Warthog, the A-10 Warthog, and the F-16 were racing around the track, like banking at 9 Gs or whatever. And we were looking up at that thing, and people were like, "Yeah!" Like, I think I saw people's shirts ripping because they were so happy, and it was awesome. Like I was on the grid because you're paying respect, obviously, to military. It's an incredible weekend. I'm standing alongside 2-star general, 3-star generals, like just the most incredible humans that have ever came out of other humans. Like unbelievable people. And then these guys come tearing through the sky and just full throttle up into the air and just bank. Air is coming over the wind. I mean, it was just so cool. Everything about that day like just made sense. It was like, this is it. This is a great day. Like
How
this
long-
is time to go.
How long does it feel because it felt long for me. Like I tuned in at noon because
Yeah.
it said, "Hey, race starts at
Yeah.
noon." Fucking, you guys went green at like 12:45.
Yeah, well, honestly, it was so normally green flag is 12:24. That's always where it's been. I remember it in my head. And it was a little bit later this year because NBC wanted to do a little bit more. Danica Patrick said my name once. Let's
go.
I thought it was very exciting. Big fan of her. We had dinner actually last week. Very, very cool. We talked about her and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about that story about the guy paying for the drinks at the basketball game. Heard all about that.
Nice.
She's actually quite funny, I will say. I got to give her credit. Mike Tirico said my name once, which is cool. I thought that was fun too.
The junior?
Yeah, just like it was like, oh, Conor Daly. Well, and Elio Castroneves and Marco Andretti. Starting in a row with Elio Castroneves and Marco Andretti is the most humbling experience ever because you sit through the parade downtown Indianapolis. It's like, Elio, yeah, 3-time winner. Conor Daly's here from Indianapolis, Indiana. Marco Andretti, 50 years since Mario Andretti. And you're like, all right, hey, you know what? I'm just happy to be here too. Good for you guys. Like, that was so fun. And I was in the middle, so like, they were on the outside nearest the crowd, so everyone could come up and talk to them. And I was just like, this is cool. Like, hey, good for you guys.
Silly question, but what time do you get to the track on race day? And
I stay there.
You stay in your
the
motorhome.
motorhome,
Okay,
yep.
so you don't deal with traffic or anything like that.
No, thankfully not. And you know what? Andretti does it right. Our
Question.
I mean, just
fair.
just
fair.
talk about a guy who knows nothing
Well,
about
a guy
what's
who
going
flies
on
around
here.
on helicopters with Jim Irsay all the time. He doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah,
that's right.
Doesn't have
That's a
to worry
great
about
point.
traffic.
Trying to get in your head, kid, on race day here, and I'm getting fucking blown up from all sides. I'm trying to get a little
we were
mental
relatable.
time frame
A
of what you're
mental
thinking.
time frame.
You may be dead in 2 hours. I mean, seriously.
Fair point.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, we're going into battle.
Yeah.
So Andretti actually does it right. They space out race morning to where essentially their drivers have nothing. So all of our like pre-race interviews that they put on like Channel 13 or whatever the local news, we did those on Friday, and they do those so like we don't have to do anything, which is actually really nice. But I had an Air Force like autograph session at like 9:30, and then I obviously go to the Snake Pit. Snake Pit is my tradition now. Incredible place.
People love you there.
That is one of the greatest places I've ever seen at 10 in the morning.
The stage this year looked really cool.
Oh man, people are in bad shape over there too. It is awesome. But I go there for 15 minutes, and then as soon as I got back, I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
Just kind of I had some pasta, had a little bit of broccoli, and just sat there. Just kind of hung out with my teammates.
Were you friends with anyone playing at the Snake Pit this year?
You know what? I was not. I only knew
surprised.
Chris Lake, just Chris Lake a little bit.
Yeah.
I met him at Ultra that
Miami.
weekend. Yeah, and he was cool. And they all think it's just when I got there though, I try to have all the guys sign my helmet because I had it on my back, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I got Elenium, Chris Lake, Skrillex, and Alessa. Where are they? Oh, they're asleep. Well, I'm not gonna get them then. I'll see you guys later. It's like 10:15 in the morning, obviously.
Hey, guys, listen, we're having a lot of fun here, but I got to talk to you about something important really quick.
Please do.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're like me and you're not always paying attention to your bank account balance, and the moment you see you're going to be overdrawn, it's too late. So now that cup of coffee just cost you $37 thanks to all the bank fees.
Fuck that.
That's why you got to check out the Dave app.
Oh,
Putting an end to overdraft fees for good. Dave is the #1 budgeting app in America because it saves you from the overdraft fees, tells you about upcoming bills, and can advance you $75 from your next paycheck with no credit check
Really?
and no interest. Get the Dave app, and for just $1 a month, that's it, $12 a year, which is way less than an overdraft fee, which you'll never have to pay again. Dave will help you budget for upcoming expenses, text you if you're spending too much, and if you need cash fast, advance you quick $75 in just 90 seconds.
Dave!
Mark Cuban is an investor.
Wow.
sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
Just because he got crushed by overdraft fees in his 20s, and he wants you to never pay an overdraft fee again.
Cubes is overdrafted in his 20s.
Thanks,
we do
Cubes.
have hope.
3 million people already use Dave to save up to $1,000 a year in overdraft fees. That's why it's the #1 budgeting app in the App Store. Go to dave.com/heartland. It really helps us out if you let them know that you heard that here. So download Dave and never pay another overdraft fee. It's immediate savings. Go now, dave.com/heartland. Spelled just like it sounds. DAVE, dave.com/heartland.
Sounds like I need to meet Dave.
I get it.
That first interview, when the radio guy got to you right after the race, I was listening to it, and you were talking about the Sato situation, and I could feel you shaking, like you were fucking angry. Was there any point where you're just like, I just want to punch somebody in the face right now?
I was so mad sitting in the car. My blood was boiling. And I was so furious because I was like, how can you take something away from someone and you have no idea why, right? Like, it's like, if there was a reason, or like I did something bad, or I saw something, like, I'm like, I was like, are you kidding? And this guy, Sato, who is never worried about employment and ever in his life, has always had money, past champion, you know, he'll never be jobless. And I was like, I'm trying to fight for my job here. And this guy just giving him positions. Like, he was 2 laps down at one point, now suddenly he's 5th.
The interviewer was so classic radio, too. He was just like, coming with Conor Daly, the restart really didn't work out great for you, whatever. And you're like, yeah, well, IndyCar took care of that. I was like, let's go.
So mad. I just and that turn 4 was really bad after that restart too, because Will Power actually hit the wall in turn 4, like with 10 to go, like smacked it, and I was like, oh yikes. And then the 2 laps later, I almost hit the wall too, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I had so much under push that I almost hit the wall. And I was like, man, this is just, this day is
sucked.
The last 20 laps, honestly, the worst time of my life. I hated it all.
Really?
I hated everything about it, and I was just so frustrated. Everything was so fun until lap 180, and then you're like, dang it.
How was the driver party after?
Oh man, it was not a lot of drivers, but I didn't care because it's for the people, and it was great. Travis Kelce was there.
Big race fan.
Apparently he was there all weekend, and I did not know that. I did not know Travis Kelce. I obviously know of him, and I've heard great things. Animal, that guy, like total. He must, and you know what's funny? All the honeys in the club, it was like watching piranhas in bloody water. Like, they were just snap. Like, I actually saw girls going after him in a way that was like they were foaming at the mouth for meat. It was like they had not seen food in 40 years. Like, it was unbelievable.
that life.
And he was just dancing around. We're doing non-alcoholic shots, obviously, and drinking O'Douls, you know, but not really. But he was such a cool guy, and I didn't know him, and I was like, how am I going to meet this guy? And one of his like cronies, like one of his boys, were like, hey, you want to meet Travis? And yeah, actually, I really do. And I guess he knew who I was, and I was like, this is the coolest moment of my life, I think. Like, one of the top 5 moments in the month of May, for sure. And it was a great time.
You just got done running the 500 and meeting Travis Kelce. He's like one of your top
I know,
5
it's
moments.
awesome. I was like, this guy's a legend. So I was happy to see him getting absolutely torn up and just living his best life in Indianapolis.
What's your body like after the race?
Yeah, what's the adrenaline dump like?
Man, I honestly, so I have a bad shoulder, like my right shoulder is
diabetes.
So the diabetes part is worse. But it was when
Zito has it now too, by the way.
Zito, you can work on that.
I can't feel my toes sometimes.
That's
His was
old
adult
diabetes
onset.
foot. Yeah, that'll get you. They'll cut that off and they won't give it back. What
do you mean?
It's not good.
I was just told I have pre-diabetes.
Peg legs.
Really?
Yeah,
What
my
the fuck?
doctor's appointment Saturday. They get my blood work back from the previous week.
Well, we can all be a
Said-
team
said you
together.
have pre-diabetes. I'm like, what the fuck? And like, what's that mean? And they're like, it's 5.7 on your A1C or whatever.
5 point. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, she said you can't get to 6.5.
Yeah, it's because you have diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that would be a goal. I'd be like, hey, we're hitting it.
So I don't know, diet, whatever. Just don't get to 6.5. She says, is that right?
Yeah, mine's 6. So, and I have diabetes.
I'm only 0.3 away.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck you saying? It's not bad.
Well, I think that's good. I mean, 6 is solid for someone who has an entirely broken organ.
So wait, how was hanging out with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
And,
What the fuck? I didn't even get to ask
We'll
you
get back
about
I
to
actually
your body.
saw
We'll get
your
back to your
tweet.
body after.
I mean,
What was your tweet about?
Bail. He rolled out of bed. I
I
couldn't
text-
find a fuck to give in any of the cargo pants he was
Love it.
I
wearing.
texted Conor. I was like, looks like these two make $35,000 combined a year.
Man,
David and Bale looks bad.
I mean, I
I
love
had-
them both, but what were they doing?
I had just got back from the parade. This was like totally lucky situation. I did an appearance after the parade downtown, and then I got back, and my mom called me. She's like, "Where are you right this moment?" And I said, "You literally just drove by me on a golf cart. I just got back to the bus." She's like, "Run out here right now." I was in an Uber, so I don't know and I got out of the Uber in the middle of the street, and I ran to my mom's golf cart inside the track. I was like, "What are we doing?" Batman. I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, Matt Damon and Christian Bale, they're back behind in the museum right now. Like we go through the back door of the museum. Obviously, there's like, I was like, what are we doing here? And I didn't actually know that they were doing like a promotion for their new movie,
that movie.
Ferrari.
Yep.
Like, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that's pretty cool. And so we're just hanging out back there, and when they're at that level of celebrity around, the people are in a really interesting spot mentally because it's like no one really wants to say anything, but they're all waiting for the right moment to move that direction.
Right.
And everyone's like, should we talk or what are we doing? And everyone's really quiet. Like everyone's like, so how's it going, Connor? How's your day? I'm like, oh, that's great. How are you guys doing? What's going on? Like, oh, Matt Damon's within 100 yards of here right now. Like, cool. Like, sweet. Yeah. And so we go back there, and Matt's just kind of walking around looking at the cars. And I was like, man, Matt Damon, like, let's go. Jason Bourne's here, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, I saw Tom Hanks earlier in the week.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't so much as look at me. And I was like, I was like, hey, Tom. I was like, how's it going? And Al Roker walked straight. Someone was taking a picture with me. Al Roker walked. I was like, oh, hey, sorry, Al. He's like, oh. I was like, he's so small and gimpy. I was like, what are you doing? Like,
He's just hungry all the time.
yeah, I think he was hungry. They had a whole table of milkshakes.
Still feels shut.
It was 8 a.m. and they had a table of milkshakes there and donuts. And I was like, who are these? Who is this
Z.
for? But anyway, definitely a Zito crowd. But yeah, so Matt was like super cool. Like Doug, thankfully, my stepdad Doug, obviously president of the track, he was, very professional introduction. And then like my little brother was there, my mom, and like he's like, oh, this is my son Carter, this is my wife Beth, this is Connor. And he was like, oh, cool. And then he's like, yeah, Connor's actually racing tomorrow. He's like, what? Really? And I was like, suddenly I became a recognizable human. And I was like, oh, thanks for not caring about me, but now caring about me. You know what I mean? I get it, thanks. But he was like super nice, and we were talking about the race, and then Christian Bale literally just like wandered up. I was talking to Matt, and he was then standing
It looks
there.
like he wandered out of an alley and
very
found his way in there.
Yeah.
My guy.
He's Batman. He's
I think he was
stealthy.
wearing sandals for sure, definitely
He was.
sandals. Yeah, like Jesus sandals.
His toes probably all fucked up.
I assume so. Yeah. But his voice is weird, huh?
Oh, yeah.
His
Welsh.
his like normal voice.
Yeah, Welsh.
But it's like it's sort of high pitched. No, it's not. It's not even deep. It was sort of like high pitched. He was like, "Oh, wasn't this part of the Formula One World Championship?" And I was like, "What did you say?" I was like, "Can you say that again?" And then obviously we did the whole introduction thing, and it got to me, and he was like, "Oh, wait a second, what, you're racing?" And then, "Oh, cool." And then we started asking questions, but they were actually really nice guys. Like when there was no one around.
Oh, they're pricks. They want to
hey,
talk
hey,
to you.
hey,
Just saying.
Just because they didn't pal around with you in fucking L.A.
Nothing to do with me. They gave no time for the guy, and all of a sudden they found out he's in a race. It's like that old,
Dark Waters?
that old golden rule. You know, Todd, you find out how people are the way they treat their wait staff. It's a perfect example.
That's
I was
true, but they
impressed.
probably had met 1,000 people that day.
Yeah.
And they were like, finally, we're at the track. We get to meet one of the fucking drivers.
Well, this was an interesting moment, I think, of Mac's celebrityhood. This is what happened. My mother was like, "Oh, you mind if we get a picture of Connor and you guys?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And so my mom, obviously really good at this. Boom, 2 pictures, done. She's like, "Perfect, thank you." And they're like, "Wow, you're really good at that. You don't go through the dumb situation of having to take it twice, look at it, then try and get one again, and then they criticize you about how you look." And I was like, "What?" I was like, did you just go into it explaining how terrible people are taking pictures? Like, it was unbelievable. That was one of the moments that, because they both, like, Christian and Matt were like, "Yeah, that sucked. This was terrible." And I was like, "Whoa, you guys like really hate taking pictures of people." It's like amazing.
What did they look like physically? Because both of them, you see them
Tremendous.
sometimes like they're
Great.
fucking cut as fuck sometimes in movies. But
Statues.
then, really.
Matt had these big pec. He was like, his wife was there too. I met his wife, nice gal. And I guess his daughter was there. I didn't even know he was married or had kids. Yeah.
Very proud.
I guess his daughter is like my little brother's age. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? They were all there having a great time. So
So how's your
Really
body
talk to
after
her?
the race?
Yeah.
my shoulder's a little detached. It feels
is it?
the hardest part was when you're going, it's fine. When you have a red flag and the adrenaline goes down a little bit, that's the worst. Because it's like everything starts to cool down, and then you're like, all right, I got to fire it back up again, and that's hard.
What do you need, surgery? What's going on with it?
Oh, I have a torn labrum all the way around my right shoulder,
fuck.
so it's like really annoying.
How'd you do that?
It's years of racing things.
really?
Yeah. But we worked around it, and it was fine, but it was annoying because it was like once it gets to that point, it's like, it's sore.
Think they give you like the football players take
Toradol?
Toradol?
No, I
put a
don't
shot
know
in
if
there?
we can do that.
I was gonna say, but do you guys have doctors before races that can do anything for you? Give shots.
I don't
at
think
anything?
so. I think there's some illegal things. I don't know.
You know what else is annoying?
What?
You talked about your fast cars and these fancy people you met, and then you show up at our door today with a fucking bird scooter.
Personalized.
Customized with your name and logo on it and your number. Just flaunt it in my face.
Well, I mean, I need my Subaru's not really running that well. So. Are you hating on me for resorting to scooter travel?
Yeah, kind of.
I want to know how we get personal fucking scooters.
Good,
Talk to
getting
the
the
bird
500.
boys.
Yeah.
Starters. Find a car for next May.
Talk to the bird
Fuck,
boys.
you find us a fucking car, Gorms. It's been fun.
There you go.
I mean, they took my shoulder. They
I
took
know.
a piece of my shoulder. The least they could do is send me a scooter.
You're probably right. We could talk about that. I might do some CCing on some emails here with the
Yes,
boys.
please.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
I'm moving back.
They might rather
downtown.
sponsor people that ride well on the bird scooter as opposed to crashing
Potentially.
them.
It's tough but fair.
Yeah, that is tough, but fair.
Can we add my sticker on your bird scooter?
Yeah, we got great Zito stickers here. Absolutely. Zito was on my helmet.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the
Yeah,
race,
a lot of
by the
people
way.
don't know that Zito is a picture of fucking Zito.
Penguin Zito.
Went around the track fucking 200 times
Yeah.
on Sunday.
How did that come apart?
Oh, it's part of the Twitch stream
Twitch
that
stream.
Zito
Yeah,
doesn't promote.
The big Twitch fam.
it,
Yeah. Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv
So you're one.
Pat McAfee Show.
You're one of the
or slash
27.
Conor Daly 22.
You're one of the 27. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we raised some bits for,
Hold on one
for
second.
Zito.
Zito said backslash and Connor said forward slash. One of you knows what
I
it
have
is.
no idea which one it is.
I don't know
really
the
don't
difference
know.
between both of them. It's a slash, though.
It is. At some point, it is. Yeah.
Does it face forward or does it fall backward?
What
Lean
side?
backward.
To the right.
Yeah. When you're reading left to
It,
right.
go,
when
it
you
leans
see
forward.
Okay. Forward
Forward
slash.
slash.
There we go.
Is that really how you
Connor,
do
Figured
it?
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leans forward or leans
So
back.
twitch.tv / the Pat McAfee Show.
You got it,
We'll
baby.
be playing together, shooting it up, doing some good things.
You just doubled subscribers right there.
Doubled.
It's now
I
people
hope
know
so.
which one to use.
I hope so.
Yeah. So what else went on? You gotta get your shoulder fixed
That'll be fine.
at some point.
But the thing is, you can't, right? Like, if I get a call to do a race like next week, right? Yeah,
can't be out.
But
I
after
can't
season.
be out.
Yeah,
But
maybe
even it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is day 2 after the race, so day 2 of being unemployed again. I'll be going to Detroit this weekend and driving the IndyCar 2-seater again, so I'll be back to being
I was gonna say, are
everyone's
you going
fastest
back
Uber
to-
driver. Yeah. So yeah, man. I think there was like I said earlier, was it enough to move the needle really to where it's like, hey, we need this guy in our car? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Biggest purse you've ever gotten? For sure, right?
No.
No?
Well, you look at the purses and you go to the top 10. It's like, why is mine 100,000 less than everyone else? What happened there? And Fast Friday, it used to be 10 grand if you're
Yeah.
fast on Fast Friday. The first year, there's no money for Fast Friday. I was like, are you guys kidding me? Like, I'm trying to buy lunches here. Like, come on.
What the fuck?
It was terrible. But there's actually the 200,000. Like, I won 240,000 or something. But like, none of that goes to me. I don't think. But the real prize money is actually 1st to 15th place. So this is actually the first time that I have finished in the real non-fictitious prize money.
Right.
But I don't know how much that is. I assume
Yeah.
it's like $45 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not massive. That's
Well,
for
hopefully
sure.
it's enough you can, relax for a little bit.
No, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
Buy
Yeah.
a bologna
Maybe.
sandwich and a monster at
Couple
least.
of sandwiches. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you're hot, baby. Don't relax now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, something's gonna pop.
Hey, Connor, do you go
That'd be nice.
out of your way to say hi to Mr. Penske?
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I'm being
Roger.
serious. Yeah.
No,
I mean, like,
well, he started right next to me on the
18
grid.
of these, he's
Who, Raj?
won now or what?
Raj, yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. Like the funniest part was though, like we were starting next to each other on the grid. Obviously, Elio's right next to me. He calls Elio's races, and I was like, "Hey man, good luck today." He's like, "Hey, great job making the race." I was like, I'm right here. I literally out-qualified you. It was so funny. But he's great. I love talking to Roger. I think he's one of the most incredible human beings. Like, statues will be built of him. Like, people will write books.
Yeah,
I mean,
what
But
a
every
biggest-
conversation
wild.
you have with somebody like that could be a job interview.
well,
Yes? No?
not yet.
No?
Not yet. I need to do a little bit more for Roger, but certainly the drive with Andretti was a job interview essentially, and I think, I think it went well. But we just have to see. I mean, we'll be at the next 2 races. Like we're in Detroit next week or this weekend, and then Texas the next weekend. And then I'm racing that Lamborghini again, like June 30th.
That'd be cool.
So we'll be doing a little bit of something, but I guess we just focus on 2020 now.
I'd give you a job.
Thank you. What is it?
I know I would give you a race.
Oh,
job.
thank you.
If
too.
I had
Hell
one.
yeah.
You seem like a team owner.
If I had
If
a
I had
team.
a ride.
Yeah, it's a powerful
Yeah.
beard, so the
Thank you.
beards own things.
I'd think
right?
about it.
Okay.
DeGilio Motorsports.
I'd sleep on it.
Gilio Motorsports.
I mean, the Italians do well. in the
Italian
sport.
clubs.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I met some Italians though, like in 2 weeks, and I just keep thinking of you guys every single time.
Good. That's what
Bunch
we.
of
That was
mobsters.
that was the point.
it's wild
There was a
how often
body.
I
There was a
think about.
body. I think this week found somewhere in Indiana, like in a.
Oh, that's
in a,
good.
In a crate or something like that.
That was you?
in the
Oh,
water.
yeah.
No, I think it's that. It's the dude from the Gambino family who was hanging out here for sure. They
Oh,
got
yeah,
to
that's who
him.
you think it's gonna be? Yeah.
No, yeah, they finally got to him.
Oh, really?
Is Matt Damon Italian?
No,
Okay.
Nope.
no, he's for Boston.
Damone?
Or Irish for sure.
Damone?
I would say he's very,
Pretty
very
Italian.
Irish.
Sounds like he's from Italy.
Come on.
Top 5 actors of all time.
He's so good.
Sure.
So good.
Did you ever see We Bought a Zoo?
I cried.
Fucking
Wasn't bad.
during that movie.
Damon.
Wasn't bad.
If I've learned about anything during this conversation, you fucking hate Damon.
What role did he steal from you?
Fucking
Oh, not at all.
yeah,
No,
you
no,
did.
no.
Downsizing was bad, right? That's the only movie Zito doesn't like.
Yeah.
You kind of
they took
look like
chunk
a
out.
poorer version of Matt Damon.
Hilarious.
Oh boy.
You know,
But like you got good hair.
I appreciate that
But like it's a
because
slightly skinnier face.
find me
you
on
know?
this one. Tell me if I'm nuts on this. Conor Daly, younger brother, Chris Ballard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we've-
Everyone
We've
thinks I look like Chris
we've seen the
Ballard.
Yeah,
pictures.
okay.
People have been
So that's
calling
old
that
news.
out.
I've
All right.
never met the guy either, but they all the time. I get it almost weekly. People are tweeting pictures of me next to Chris Ballard.
It's
And I'm
kind of
like,
creepy sometimes when
It
they put
is.
him up.
It
I'm
is
like,
weird.
whoa,
I'm like,
whoa.
yeah, I've seen this before, guys. Like we're not hanging out. We're not buddies yet. I would love to be friends, but
Hey, did you talk to Junior at the track?
Dale Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise be.
Dale Jesus, let me tell you what, that guy is awesome. I respect everything about him. And he was in the snake pit as well in the morning of the
Really?
race. Yeah, he was out there. He's like, hey,
party.
I've never seen anything like this. Shoot, I'll tell you what.
Even ice cold Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
Dew or
Ice-
Budweiser.
Ice cold Mountain Dew, and he had his Wranglers on, obviously. Big Wrangler guy.
He got a little
Big
Mountain
regular
Dewy,
guy.
I heard, while he was here.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. He got popped.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well played, Todd.
No way. Dale Jesus got
Well, that dude
Yeah.
drunk driving is.
No, Al
better.
Jr. did.
Yeah.
Al
Oh,
Ju-
you're right. That's Al
That
Jr.
was Al Jr., yeah.
Yeah, not
Poor
Dale
Al
Jr.
Easy, Todd.
Redact that. Redact that.
Don't
Mark
you
it.
dare take Dale.
Mark it.
Fucking Dale Jesus. He hears that.
Oh, jeez. You're right.
Sorry,
I
man.
crossed the juniors.
Yeah, you don't do that. You
Never
don't
crossed the juniors.
Yikes, yeah, Al Jr.
Redact it. Mark it. Back. Start over. Love fucking Dale Jr. Fucking
Big 88 guy, yeah. Big 88 guy.
damn. You got an agent yet?
A lot of people ask me that.
In your sport?
I actually had one of my
Well, I
buddies.
mean for other things.
Oh,
I would think just public figure type agent, maybe acting shit, whatever.
Well, you know what was funny? So last night I was sitting at home. Our episode of Celebrity Family,
Family
Feud
Feud,
was on
yeah.
last night.
Yep,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Nice.
3 years old that show is, and we were on there, and I was like,
Was it the first time that it aired?
No. Yeah, it was airing now. No, it was so funny. I mean, no agent.
Yeah.
But I would love to have one.
I'll represent you at 5%.
Okay, 5%.
Hey, I'll say the same
good,
thing
right?
that I said for Clayton. You should try to get on the fucking Bachelor.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I was listening to that.
You've
just before
already
I
been in
came
the
here, yeah.
ABC family. Like, you
Yeah.
actually have like
It's-
a legit IndyCar driver.
The only problem though is it's such a long filming
Well,
process.
I guess, yeah, you do
Yeah.
that, then the racing kind of gets thrown by the
Hey,
wayside.
you should take
That's
a fucking
tough.
year off. You're gonna be the Bachelor.
Yeah, that does
Huge.
sound
That's
nice.
the, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the other
Huge.
thing. You do that, you never have to worry about getting a job ever
No,
again.
That's,
Well,
for,
yeah.
that's for washed up drivers like that one guy who did it.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Oh, the bar set pretty low for IndyCar drivers.
his wife just commented on my most recent photos.
Did
so
she
yeah,
really?
Big fans of them, yeah. Nice people, love them a lot. I was invited to his bachelor party, but not the wedding. So that's
Really?
all right.
That's
that-
interesting.
Oh, this guy's he's fun.
Yeah.
But a little too fun for the wedding.
That's now happened to me 3 times. I've
Really?
been invited to the bachelor party, but not the wedding.
I think I like that move. Though.
I actually am not
If
upset
I had to
about it.
pick which one to go to.
Yeah, I think it's probably because they know that like I don't own nice clothes. That's probably why they're like, yeah, this guy probably can't dress up. For
Well,
this
you don't have to
wedding.
worry about giving a wedding gift either, which is nice.
Do you own a
Fair
suit?
point. So last night I had to dress up in a suit for the banquet, obviously. Pants-wise, I was like, I don't think the pants that I had weren't fitting correctly, and I was like, I don't know if I have any other pants. So I had this jacket from one suit and like the pants from another, and I hadn't worn the pants in probably 2 years, so they had like, they looked like they had like cocoons were forming on them of like insects, but it worked. We made it happen.
You pulled it together.
Obviously, yeah, you got to make it happen.
Good for you, man. We're really happy for you.
Thank you.
That's fucking great fucking showing. Hometown boy. I mean,
A lot of your fans were out there, by the way, at the track the whole time.
oh yeah, people going crazy
People
on
loving
social
it.
media too.
Everyone asking about Pat and all you guys. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Everyone's very supportive, so we like it.
Yeah, man. Next year, even better.
Oh yeah.
Next year, we're calling for a win.
All right, yeah.
I like the sound of that.
I actually, speaking of winning, I saw Pat's tweet about betting on me. Right?
Oh, yeah,
I was
we
like,
did.
I was like, aggressive. I actually signed. This guy came up to me after the race, and he's like, "Hey, I bet like this whatever amount of money on me," and he had all of his like betting slips with him, and he's like, "Can you sign my betting slip?" I was like, "This is a loser, but yeah, sure." I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you had
It
the
was kinda
fastest
funny.
car on Fast Friday.
Yeah.
And you had great odds. It was great value. It was an easy
Was it
bet.
40 to 1? What'd you get it
Yeah,
at?
yeah, 40, yeah.
Yeah. 40 to 1.
Yeah, it would have
good
been
bet.
nice payday.
Yeah, I know.
You and me both.
Yeah,
What would
a
it-
lot of my friends apparently. But the best part was a lot of my friends told me they bet on me, but it's like, oh yeah, we actually won money on you for finishing 10th, and I was like, so what does that mean? You bet me to like place or something, or beat one person? What? I don't know how that works.
I didn't have that option. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
This is probably me just not knowing anything. But if you, let's say you didn't, because when I'm listening to it live, right before the crash happened, causing the restart with the red flag, I was like, Conor's pitting. I was like, what if he just stays out there for a few more laps? Because probably something's going to happen. Were you just totally like, would you have run out of gas, or would you you have made it into the restart?
No, so all of us, we had just pitted before that yellow, so we were good to go for the rest of the way. So how it worked was, I think there were a couple people that when that yellow came out, they were planning on going all the way, but the yellow was not a good time for them. Like Dixon and a bunch of those guys, they were trying to stay out and extend their fuel stint and then try and really take advantage of it, which they thought they were.
Right.
But we had to stay on the leader strategy because like if you go off of that, you have more of a chance of falling behind. And so we pitted, and
I mean, definitely
and
the
when
smart
it went
move,
yellow,
yeah.
it's like, all right, perfect. I don't have to worry about. And potentially, if you pit under yellow, there's a big chance that you could, a lot of crazy stuff was happening in the pits. People were crashing, people were hitting each other, dudes were getting run over, like it was wild. So we didn't want to have a chance of maybe having something happen in the pits. So thankfully, I don't think we made one pit stop under yellow the whole race, which was really, not bad.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, it was great to catch up with you.
afternoon.
Felt really proud.
Yeah.
I felt really proud.
Yeah, it
you.
was a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
I even got a message from Nick, which I didn't expect to
You
get.
did good, kid.
And I
You did good.
appreciated it. I really did. I miss you guys, so it was.
I think
it
he's
was
gonna
really
win
fun.
this sumbitch one year.
I think
Don't
so
you
too,
guys?
yeah.
Don't you get that feeling? He's young enough,
We'll see.
He's gonna win this sumbitch.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna keep working.
Without
on it.
a doubt. You'll get one under your belt.
I'm gonna strike gold
You got
here
at least
somewhere.
20 more in you, so.
Hope so. I beat my dad's best race, which
There
is
you
all I
go.
cared about. That's all I cared about. His best finish was 11th, so I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
All right, man. Great to catch up with you. Thanks for coming by. We know that you're going to continue to do great things, and you're probably going to end up being the Bachelor in the next 3-4 years. So that's going to be awesome. Look for that on ABC. All right. We are out. Just kidding. We're not out. We're not out. Earlier today, we recorded an interview with a good friend of mine, stand-up comedian. I think you're going to love him. But first, his interview is brought to you by our favorite meat company at the moment, Omaha Steaks. Looking for an easy, affordable way to stock up for summer grilling as well as a great gift? Think Omaha Steaks. We love us some Omaha Steaks because they have the best steaks and meats anywhere for over 100 years. They're a family-owned and operated company still run by the 5th generation. Your order is flash frozen and ready to cook. All meat is USDA inspected for quality and exceeds standards. Hand-trimmed, flash frozen, and vacuum sealed. We wouldn't seal it any other way.
No.
We use a vacuum. Plus online support with recipes, wine pairings, and so much more. Right now, Omaha Steaks is giving a limited time Father's Day gift
Let's
offer
go.
to our listeners. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter promo code Heartland in the search bar for 74% off.
Whoa, Christ.
The Father's Day Steak
That's a-
Fix gift package.
Todd, that's a lot of good beef for a little bit of money.
That's a $235 value now for only $59.99.
Hello.
They're giving away the company. It doesn't make sense financially. Who cares? Take advantage and get your father something cool this year for Father's Day. Order it now and you'll get 2 tender filet mignons, 2 bold top sirloins, 2 savory pork chops, 4 Omaha steak burgers, 4 massive gourmet jumbo franks, 4 crispy chicken fried steaks, all beef meatballs, 4 premium chicken breasts, 4 caramel apple tartlets for dessert, a packet of Omaha Steaks signature seasoning. And is that it? You're probably like, oh, that's got to be it.
gotta
That's
be
the
it.
longest
Yeah.
list ever.
Golden
Nope.
rings.
And you'll get 4 extra Omaha Steaks burgers free.
Todd!
It's true, Gorms. 4
Good
extra
Lord,
Omaha
man.
steak burgers for free. Give this amazing package as a gift for dad or stock up for incredible summer grilling yourself, all at 74% off. Just go to omahasteaks.com, enter the code Heartland in the search bar, and the Father's Day Steak Fix gift package valued at $235 now for only $59.99.
I'm in.
That's absurd.
Let's get to the interview. Joining us in the studio, he was once CMT's next big comic. He's been the last comic standing. He was the host of Busted Knuckles on the Speed Channel, and he was a star of what some people say is one of the best Christmas movies of all time, Bethlehem. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Louisville, Kentucky, please put your hands together for Rich Reagan.
Hey. What do you say, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Came up to visit.
Yeah, so here's what happened. And buddy of ours, Chris Bowers, hit me up on my way home from work yesterday, said, hey, Rich Ragains is up from Louisville. You want to come have a couple beers? I did, and is what always happens
Thought
when
so,
I'm
it
with
turned
Rich
out
Reagan's. It turns into way too many beers, and I'm out way later than I wanted to be on a work night. But it was awesome. It was good to see you, brother.
You too, man. We had fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about some cool stuff.
Yeah, but let's get into your life because
Okay.
people need to know what Rich Reagan's is. You are, I'm going to call you a free spirit, a hippie. You were considered when you were doing comedy full time. You were like the man. When I first started doing comedy, people were like, "Fucking dude, this guy Rich Reagan's from Louisville. Have you ever seen him? He's a fucking monster." I think I stole one of your jokes one time.
Oh, Todd?
Oh, nice.
Fucking, you were just my idol. And then we got to be good friends. And every time, and this is no joke, every time that I say out loud to other people that this was the most I've ever drunk in a given night, it was always with Rich Reagan.
How does that work?
I don't know.
get it.
It's something about you, dude. You're contagious.
I don't know.
The reason I love Jaeger today is because of Rich Reagan.
God damn it, Rich.
But I drink it on the rocks. That's a way to drink it. No, I was on a cruise
lot of
ship, and
people
this
do.
South African guy was like, "You American twats, what are you doing? Drinking shots of this? It's a liqueur, you dumb dick." And I'm like, you don't usually hear the words liqueur and dumb dick in the same sentence, but you got to be on a boat with, And South African chicks are the coolest chicks you'll ever meet, and all the guys are 7 feet tall in their dicks. Every single one. I promise you meet a guy from South Africa, he'll be tall and a dick.
Absolutely.
Dick-esque, maybe we'll say.
It was so when I first started hanging out with you, all right, I considered myself pretty much a pro in drinking. And we were together at a pool party at Chris Bauer's house, and we hit it off because we were close to the same age. I was old for a comic starting out, even though I was a new comic.
We both did jiu-jitsu.
We both did jiu-jitsu, had a lot of things in common, so we hit it off really well. We're drinking at this pool party, and
Guys
I'm
wanna
like,
do karate in the garage.
We would have filmed it, we'd be famous.
so I'm like, well, I can out-drink everybody. We're going drink for drink all night long. I am just blacked out. He has a whole show still to do. He has to headline 2 shows, I think, at Morty's Comedy Joint. So we get there, and I'm so drunk that I'm sitting on a stool by the green room, and I just pass out and fall face forward during his show. Boom, nose to the fucking ground, completely dead off this chair. He does like a fucking hour 10 on stage. Drank every bit as much as I did.
I got a super liver, man. I do. My liver's like a Roomba. It just walks around, bumps into shit, picking stuff up. I got like 2 livers. I mean, you know, golly. I mean, my liver is like Lance Armstrong's heart after the shots. You know?
So let's get into your life story a little bit. You're one of those guys, and we got a guy on the show, Jeff Gorman, is this way. You're kind of just done a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
Like if you mention any kind of occupation, whatever, Rich is like, oh yeah, I did that for 2 years, whatever. So you think you're an entrepreneur. I want you to talk about some of the businesses that you've tried to start in the past. So start out with the food truck. That's one of my favorite stories of all time.
No, I got to go way back before then.
Okay.
I was always starting some kind of business. And so I did, I started a business taking people's mail out of their mailbox and running it up to their house when I was like 9. I'm like, Mom, and I'd get them to pay me to hand them the mail, and I came home with like $6. And my mom beat the daylights out of me. She's like, that's a federal crime. You can't do that. So I was trying to do that. I used to go shoot down mistletoe in the woods and wrap bows around it, sell it door to door, you know.
Didn't even know that's where mistletoe grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in trees, so you can shoot it down with a shotgun, and it's all good, you know. And me and Mark Thurston were out selling the shit out of this stuff, man. And man, we go to the door, and they go, "Oh no, we're not interested." And I'd go, "It's for Boy Scouts." And they'd go, "Oh, okay," like that. And then that didn't work. I go, "It's for Jerry's kids." And my buddy was like, "Dude, you can't say it's for Jerry's kids, man." No, I saw a donut truck one time, and I thought, man, I could buy that thing. It was like the first food truck in Louisville. This was years ago. And I did fix the whole thing up, painted it myself. I had to scrape 3 6-foot donuts off the side of the goddamn truck. I couldn't eat donuts for a year. It was terrible. And but man, I called it Richie's Barbecue, and I would go around selling barbecue sandwiches and go to different events. And I had deals with bars where they'd let me drink, and I'd sit out front and sell shit. And I have people in there partying, and I mean, it was
not a permit one, right?
No, I did have a permit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
All
I
right,
had a commissary and all that. And so one time, and what I would do is I'd do this, and then I'd go out and do comedy, you know? So I'd just do it when I wanted to do it. I didn't have a schedule. So one time I'd make the barbecue sandwiches and put them in this hot box that I had. You put a sterno in there, it keeps them warm, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I go out with my nephew Jacob one night. We pull up to this bar, and I go, look, I'm going to go take a whiz. I'll be right back. Just, you know, sell people whatever, you know. I haven't really set up yet. And I go back in. I go, did you sell anything? He goes, yeah, I sold that sandwich. I go, what sandwich? The one in the thing. I go, dude, that's 2 weeks old. Are you shitting me? I said, you sold him the sandwich? The sandwich? I go running in there, and I see this dude taking the last bite of that, and I'm like, and I don't have a uniform or anything. I walk up to the dude, I'm like, hey, man, how's that sandwich? He goes, a little dry. I did a burnout. I got the hell out of there, dude. I'm like, oh, so that didn't last too much longer because he's dead now. I know. He dead. All right. So, yeah.
There's a comedy club in Dayton, Ohio called Wiley's Comedy Club. Great club. If you go there in the green room right now, first of all, you and I built that green room.
We did.
With our bare hands.
We
Very
did.
proud of it.
Yep.
And there's a clock on the wall that has a cutout picture of Rich Reagan's face on the top of it. This fucker used to sell those for merch at his comedy shows. Just a regular old clock, and he just would glue a cutout picture of his headshot on this
No,
clock
you know where
for
I
the
got
club.
those clocks? Because
Where?
my ex-wife was a drug rep, and she'd get all these clocks for Celexa the antidepressant. So when they
Oh, I
changed,
take that.
Celexa is
Free clocks.
Oh, dude, I had 50 of them, and she's out throwing them in the trash. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm throwing these out. I said, why? She goes, what are you going to do with them? I said, I don't know. Just put them aside, and I'll take them. So I go home, fire up a joint, fucking cut out pictures of my face, stick them on there. I put them in every comedy club in the Southeast, man. They're everywhere. People are like, oh, you're the clock guy. Yeah. Good day, mate.
Hey, Rich, how about some gigs where you maybe didn't get paid what you wanted to get paid, but you agreed to something? You know what I mean? Because I've heard stories about, hey, I give you a case of beer, come up there and do 15, 20, 30 minutes, stuff like that. Ever have any of those gigs?
Yeah, like you want to fuck my wife since I don't have the money? I'm not shitting. You want this bag of cocaine? Well... Dude, you're gonna love this. This happened not long ago. You know Marty Polio from Louisville.
Yeah.
I was doing some tile work and I ran out of tile grout. And he said, "Don't go buy a new bag because you're just doing a small thing. I got some for you. I'll bring it over." So he comes over. He gets out of the car and he's walking toward me with this big plastic bag full of white powder. And I mean, right in front of my neighbor. I mean, he's walking toward me like, I'm like, why are you carrying it like that, dude? And he walks up, and my nosy neighbor across the street's walking his dachshund, and he's giving me this look, and he hands me the bag, and I'm like, I go, hey, this ain't cocaine, man. I go, it's tile grout, and he just shakes his head, walks off. Because this guy sees all the shit going on at my place first. So the dude gives me this dirty look, and he walks like, the next house he's walking his dog. I yell after him. I go, but if you want to buy some tile grout, it's $400 a gram. So yeah, he's pretty cool, to be honest with you.
You want to talk about some of the tough gigs you've done? I don't know if they're tough because you seem to love them, but you did a nudist camp, right?
Go on.
Yeah, I did. Did it naked.
You did it naked?
Buck ass naked.
Really?
Not a stitch of clothes.
Was clothing optional for you, or was it? Hey, you're doing this thing and you're doing it naked?
No, it was optional, and it was cool because Keith McGill, you know Keith McGill from Louisville, real funny guy. He calls me up. He goes, "Hey, I got this gig for you. It's a little weird." I said, "What's it pay?" He said $600. I said, "I'm in." He said, but it's at a nudist camp and everybody's going to be naked. I said, "I'm in." He said, "I knew I'd only have to make one phone call." So man, here's the weird thing about it. So I said, "Do we have to be naked?" He said, "No, you don't." I said, "Has anybody done it naked?" He said, "No. People have taken their shirt off, and one guy did it in his underwear." I said, "I'll do it naked." He said, "I'll do it naked if you'll do it naked." I said, "Hell yeah." So we drive up there, and we're laughing the whole way up there. We're like, "Oh, hey, 3 hours to naked time, 2 hours, fuck 5 minutes to naked time." And I thought, I don't know what to expect. It's like a resort, it's not a lake and a tennis courts and all that kind of shit and big, And we get in there and. I think it's just going to be people swinging from chandeliers. And there's just 3 old ladies in there wearing sweatshirts that say Turtle Creek or whatever it was and elevator music playing. I said, "Wow, man." So I walk in. I said, "So, okay." She's like, "This is Earl. Earl's going to show you around, blah, blah, blah. Here's your room key. And do you know about our erection rule?"
Oh, boy.
I said, "No, but I'm dying to hear it." And I said, she said, "If you get an erection, you need to cover it with a towel or leave the room." I said, "Lady, that's the same rule they have at Walmart and Cracker Barrel and everywhere else. It's pretty much known if you get a boner, cover it up and leave. Or come on in, you don't know what." I was thinking about that the other day. Every time you want to describe anal sex, it starts with a W. What? Where? Why? Whoa! Whoopee! I mean, who says whoopee during that? That's kind of old school. Sorry, where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about naked stuff. So, man, I go to this thing with Keith, and I said, we go in the locker room. There's like a locker room. It was like a school. They got an indoor. They go, "You want to go play water volleyball?" So I'm like, "Sure." By the way, best distraction in water volleyball is a girl with a huge rack that doesn't have a shirt on. It's the worst I ever played in my life. They're like, "Are you drunk?" "Yes." "Let me cover this with a towel." So we go in there, and we go in the play. Now, we've been doing comedy together 20 years. We get in the locker room. I'm like, "Look," so we're getting undressed. I go, "Let's just look at each other's dicks once so it won't be weird." He goes, "You just made it weird." I'm like, "Okay, well, we're gonna look anyway." So we get undressed. We go to the pool, and here's the weird. At first, you're like, "Holy shit!" You guys ever been to a place like that?
No.
Never.
You should go.
Yeah.
How is before you go on? What's the factor 1 through 10 of men and women? Attraction factor.
Well, here's the cool thing about it. There's a little bit of everybody. There's somebody there with a bigger dick than you, smaller dick than you, somebody fatter than you, somebody in better shape than you, older, younger, weird. I mean, there's everything, and nobody's judging you there. It's just really, when you first go there, you're just, holy shit. But about an hour and a half, it goes away.
It's freeing.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. It is. And
I'm not getting in the pool though. I can tell you that. Naked.
Oh, shrinkage is
Yeah.
real. Yeah,
I
it
was
does.
in
It
the
shrinks
pool.
the fuck out of you. And dude, I just went to Maui, and I went to 2 nude beaches when I was there.
Of course you did.
And of course, all those dudes look like The Rock, and they got dicks this long. And it's like all these old, cut up, in shape Hawaii dudes that are all like, then they're doing yoga and headstands. You can't do a headstand with your dick hanging the wrong way. Do you know about gravity, you prick? God. But you go jump in the ocean naked. It's great, man. It's pretty cool. But and I thought there'd be a lot of weird shit going down, but there wasn't. Everybody was really, really normal.
Just a normal place. It was
They're just not wearing clothes.
Yeah, they're just doing. Yeah, I mean, they're bringing casserole dishes and shit. The weird thing is when there's a dude wearing just a shirt and his little dick sticking out the bottom. I'm like, dude, come on, man, it's fucking weird. It's like I'm thinking you're not your clothes, but there's your dick popping in and out. It's like,
Shirt cocking.
Hey, are people trying to get with each other? I've never been to one, so I'm curious.
I didn't see any of that. We
No?
went back and partied with people after the show, and no, it was. I tell you, the weirdest part for me, we're in the pool, and I get out of the pool to go pee. No, what's funny is, too, when we got in the pool, the first guy I met was named Dick. I was like, thank you, Jesus. But when I had to go pee, so I'm walking down the hallway, it's all I can, and it looks like the school you went to high school in. That's what it looks like. I'm walking down the hallway, there's lockers, and all I can hear is my wet feet slapping the floor. And I'm walking to turn the corner to go to the bathroom, and I hear these dudes talking, and they come around the corner, and they're both wearing suits like they just got off work. And I'm naked as fuck. I was like, whoa! I'm in the wrong part of the building. I'm not supposed to be here. And they're like, how's it going? So I duck into the thing. I'm like, I had to just gather myself for a minute. And this lady walks in with these big swinging country ham titties like, hey, baby. She goes, hey, baby, and leans out in the thing and starts putting mascara in the mirror. And I'm like, oh, right. It's a fun, yeah. Think about your gender bathrooms with that bullshit, right?
Did you at least do some dick tricks on stage? I mean, it's the only time you can.
Man, well, let me tell you something. I gave, right before I went on, I gave it a few tugs. Come on, I mean, it's showtime, baby. I got it. I lotioned it just to make it look a little fresh, really fast for a while, and man, I walked out on stage. I said, man, this place is breezy. And they were going nuts because I was the first guy that did it, But, man, what's weird is your junk swings around. You don't think about when you're going through your set, the movements you always do. I'm pretty physical.
Yeah.
But, man, my shit was all over the place. And it was a no-towel kind of show.
Did you do a prison once too?
Oh, I did a bunch of prisons.
Really?
Yeah.
More than one prison?
Yeah, I did a bunch of prisons, man. And I used to. Eric Kimbrough's the best prison comedian you'll ever see.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he walks out there, and you got to just bash him in the face, dude. They want blood, and it's going to be yours or theirs. They don't give a fuck, man. I mean, I was walking in my first prison with Mike Armstrong, and he goes, "These dudes are standing there," and I'm just kind of walking by. You better be funny, motherfucker. I said, I will, sir. I mean, but he walked out. One of the best lines I ever heard in my life. He's like, there's this one dude sitting up front with thick glasses. He's like, look at this motherfucker's glass right here. His glass is so thick he can see his parole date from here. I was like, no, I did. So I did this thing with Mike Armstrong, who's great, and he.
His whole act is about how he was a cop.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was doing 30 in front of him.
Todd sounded better, didn't he sound better?
Yeah. I wasn't the only one that picked up on that. Right? So anyway,
Fucking guy who does cop jokes.
I walk out there, and I mean, I did a women's prison before that. The first
Really?
prison I ever did was Pee Wee Valley Women's Prison. And dude, let me tell you something. it was the first day of my life I ever got to know what it's like to feel like Ricky Martin or some dude like that. Because those bitches were just like, oh my God, it's a man. So I walk into this prison gig and I go, first line out of my mouth, I go, last prison I did was Pee Wee Valley Women's Prison. And compared to them, y'all some ugly bitches. They went, oh! And they start going crazy. So, man, I'm just murdering like for 5 minutes. I'm thinking, man, I'm doing so good. I'm going to go do this new joke. And I tell this joke. Nothing. I'm still so cocky that I'm going to do the second part of the joke. And I should have known to bail. I should have known better, And man, I just flew the plane right into the fucking mountain. I mean, dude, it turned into the worst 25 minutes I'd ever done in my life. And when prisoners hate you, they fucking hate you. They want to kill you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're like, next thing you know, they're crossing their arms and shit. Next thing you know, he's like, do the funny stuff, motherfucker. That same dude. I'm like, I'm trying. Then the mic's reverbing and I'm sweating bullets. And they're like, this motherfucker got up, did like this, and walked out of my show. He had better shit to do in prison than watch my shitty ass act. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And fucking I walk off stage. Armstrong walks up on stage. He goes, you guys think you're in prison? I got to listen to Rich Bitch back the whole way to Louisville. How bad you hated his show.
So, you never done a prison?
Never done a prison. No.
Man.
I can't say
So
I've
you've
ever
done
been
a
offered,
prison?
but I would have turned it down. I got to tell you.
I got to tell you, here's the weird thing about it. All those motherfuckers look just like us. Mm-hmm. And I kept asking, like, what's he in for? Oh, he raped and beat an old lady and killed her. What? He fucking did a bunch of shit to kids. This
I don't
guy
really have
killed,
any material for
murdered
him.
people.
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, but it's weird because they're like shaking your hand, telling you good. Like this dude gave me a rock that he painted a little scene on it, and I'm driving home. I'm like, fuck! I threw it out the window. I'm like, no way.
Do you work on your crowd work for that?
You got to do a lot of crowd work. I mean, I don't work on crowd work. I just do
No, like in the prison though.
What do you mean?
Do you like test all your crowd work on the prison?
No.
Like I can only imagine how bad.
No, I don't know how bad you just missed the point here. Don't practice new shit in prison. That's kind of what I'm trying to tell you here, pal. Jesus Christ on a cracker. Where did you get this motherfucker?
It's every day, man.
It's every day. That's how his brain works.
Oh, goddamn. I love you guys. I really do.
Is there a place you wouldn't do comedy in front of then? You've done a nudist colony in prison?
I stood up at a movie theater before the movie and did it one time.
You gotta hear this story. All right, lead into it. All right, you have a weird way of when you have a phobia or something, a weird way of conquering.
I just go towards stuff I'm scared of,
Yeah.
and I'm scared. That was fucking scary.
Well, yeah.
I shouldn't have worked blue. That was a bad part. I think I should have cleaned it up a little bit for the kids.
So you had this. You in your brain. This is how his brain works. I can tell you right now. He's like, God, it would be terrifying to just stand up cold at a movie theater while people are waiting for the movie to come on and just start doing stand up. Is that exactly what you were thinking?
Yeah.
And you were compelled. You could not go do that.
No.
You're the weirdest person in the world.
No. I'll jump. Motherfucker, I'll jump.
So you just jumped
I'll
up.
do
They're
it.
waiting for
I'll
the
jump. It's like, man, it's like catching animals. I catch critters. If I see a fucking possum, I'm gonna grab him. I mean, every time. I don't know why I'm like that. If I see a snake, I'm gonna catch him. If I see whatever.
What movie was it before?
What movie he was talking about? Bethlehem.
The one you popped up in.
I don't remember. It was fucking man. It was
that good.
I just started doing comedy. It's just like when you're
Probably Schindler's List. Hey, you guys want to hear some comedy?
It was Beaches.
See, that is wild though, because if someone were to do that at a movie, I was getting like, if I had a fucking rock or something, I'd try to kill them. I would try to throw it at their head and kill them probably.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to make of it at first. At first, they were like, and I don't think you could do it now because they'd think it was a shooting or something. But,
Yeah.
excuse me, can I have your attention? You couldn't do it now. But they didn't know. It was like they were sitting there for a minute like, what? Wait, what? And it was, I did like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And there were some people who were just like, oh, this is great. And some people were just like, what? And people were like, fuck you, man.
Like it's happening
Dude,
right
I'm here to see a movie, not your dumb ass.
You talking about you have this compulsion to grab an animal if you see it and try to corral it. How many animals have you been bit by?
All of them. I mean, name one. I bet your ass I've been bit by it.
Gator.
No, I hadn't been bit by a gator.
Bear.
No, hadn't been. Man, you're starting at the fucking top. Tyrannosaurus Rex? Really? You dick.
Coyote.
Yeah.
You been bit by a coyote?
Yeah. I was trying to let him loose. He was in a trap.
Yeah. How many you've been?
Pigs hurt when they bite you.
Really?
Why are we talking about that?
You brought it up, I think.
You ever been bit in the water? You're not afraid to get into the water naked?
Man, of course I've been bit right on the dick in the water by a fish. I'm not shitting you. I'm in Falling Creek in Virginia, and I'm standing on a rock. I'm in waist deep water, and I look, and there's this bluegill just staring at my dick, like just looking right at it. And I'm like, so I start flexing it a little bit, making it go like this. Man, he hit it. He was like, boom! Oh, shit! I got bit on the dick by a fish. I'm showing my buddies. I'm like, look, it had the little bite marks, you know. But they got teeth too.
Yeah, they do.
God, that's fun.
We were doing a comedy show together. It was a military show for this promoter, and so the whole crowd's military, right? And they have big sponsors behind it. We're in Louisville. And they have certain rules, like, you know, could only be so blue because of the sponsors and all this stuff. So we're in Louisville, and, when I get with Rich, like I said, we just drink. That's what we do. And so we spend the whole day. We just go to this. He wants to show me this Mexican restaurant he loves, this patio.
God. Tell
and we
him
just
what we
start
did.
pounding pitchers of margaritas. And it's the hottest day in Louisville history for some reason. It's like 117. It's humid. We're just sweating. And we're in this patio, and we're pounding pitchers of margaritas. And the flies were everywhere because everybody's drinking margaritas. There's margarita salt and sticky shit all over the tables. So flies are everywhere. So we get so drunk, we start playing this game where we could see who could eat the most flies.
Yeah.
So we would trap the flies because they would get on the rim of your glass. You would trap it and you would chug real quick, right, to drink the fly. And then he goes a step further because he wants to win. Gets a fly swatter from somebody in the restaurant, starts swatting flies and throwing them in there. So we're doing this, and we are just butt-ass wasted, just making fools of ourselves. And then the promoter, I guess, has been panicking because he can't find us anywhere, and we're not answering our phones or anything. Finally, somehow he finds this Mexican restaurant, comes running in from the inside the restaurant, the patio. He's like, what in the fuck are you guys doing? We got a show like in an hour. You can't even fucking stand up. And we're like, we got this. We got this. Fucking went and slayed it.
He walks up bitching about it. I just pulled my liver out, set it on the table. Like it's a 357 Magnum. I'm like, I got this shit. Man, what was that show? Were you on that show with me? No, you weren't on there. It was in Alabama. This girl, I always remember this when you talk about doing crowd work. At this particular place, when you're doing well, they send you up shots of Jaeger. And that night I was doing real well. I was drinking. This really hot redheaded waitress she'd walk them straight up, and every time she'd walk away, I'd kind of like, oh man, look, check her out. Wow, look at that chick. She was really cute. So she comes walking up with this glass full of this red juice or something. I said, man, what the hell's that? She said, it's called a redheaded slut. I said, man, I must be seeing double. She was like, fuck you, my friend. God, it was great.
They actually outlawed that shot in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they did.
Did they really?
Yeah, because it's
Sexist.
slut shaming.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Can you
that's
imagine?
funny.
That's the world now.
God, I saw this thing today.
As if we all don't know a redheaded guy slut. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we know who he is. Half of us have fucked him. I mean, what was that thing I saw on the wall today in your friend's bathroom? And it said, give the girl the right pair of shoes and she can do anything. And I thought, yeah, she can put them behind her head. She can dance for money. Clean stuff up. That's a shitty girl joke, isn't it?
Have you noticed like crowds changing? 'Cause you've been doing comedy for a long time.
Yeah.
Is it getting tougher with crowds with
Yeah,
the PC movement?
They can't handle it.
I
A lot
know.
of them can't. Here's the weird thing too, and this is what I love about our country as well, is our freedom of speech in this country is so important to me, and an American comedy club especially is the best forum for free speech. Mm-hmm. One time I did a deaf joke, and this lady stands up in the crowd and goes, "That's not funny, making fun of deaf people." And I said, and I said, lady, and it was great because I just got on this little rant, and I said, do you know where you are right now? You're in a church of silliness. You're in a mosque.
That's a good way to put
a
it.
mosque of fucked upness. This is where you can make fun of fucking everything. Everything, everybody. This is where you can do it. This is where to do it. So if you're the person that shows up at the show with your pinched lips and your bullshit, you're the problem. I mean,
I agree.
Give me a
Love that.
break, dude. That's why we're here.
It's getting tough though. You see some of the bigger comedians kind of rebelling against it. They're just going ham, like fuck it, I'm gonna go harder the other direction. Like Segura, Tom Segura, he don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody says tries to censor what he's saying, he just goes harder right at it. And I like it. I think that's what's going to take.
I just watched Theo Vaughn do a stand-up special on Netflix, and he took some shots that were like, whoa.
Right? Yeah.
But on the other hand, too, I'm totally empathetic to women, minorities, gay people, trans people. I think freedom for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And there are places where it's not appropriate, but that's what's so great about this. This isn't the regular radio telling us what to do. We can say what the fuck we want to.
Right.
You're goddamn right.
You're goddamn right we can, you know?
Now, you were a tobacco chewing, hunting, fishing, just country boy from the South, but you're very liberal.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Very liberal.
I am. I tell you
You're a true
because I
hippie.
live half my life in the country and half my life in the city. I'm not afraid to say it. I was a bit of a tomboy growing up. I really was.
You had this show, Busted Knuckles, right?
Yeah.
And it was going to be the big thing.
Man,
big
and
thing in
then
your life.
yeah.
And I akin it to, because it was before the Dirty Jobs guy, right? Or was it right after?
It was about the same time.
About the same time. Because if that would have worked out, you could have been like the Dirty Jobs guy. You had this cool show, and the show, people can still see, it ran for a full episode. And, but it was a great show, and it was you hosting people that had these cool manly jobs of making manly shit, like they're these company that builds armored cars, and you were out with the machine gun shooting with them and shit.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool show. What happens when that? How does it just go away?
I don't know, but as they were wheeling me out of the studio on a dolly, I figured it wasn't going too good. I got to slide at the back door to see the fuck later. I don't know what happened because they said it went up in the ratings. It went from here to here, but it ran for 2 weeks. But yeah, I got to go to a place in Texas that makes armored cars, and man, I mean like everything in the comic book shit. Like you can drop cal drops out of a box to blow out the tires on the oil slicks.
Nice.
Like
James
you can,
Bond shit.
Yeah,
And
they gave me
like
they gave me an
bank
AK-47 so we did a test on this one car, and then we took a regular car, and I put a watermelon on a steak, like for a head, and shot through it, just obliterated. It was it was the best orgasm I ever had in my whole life. Yeah, so it was really cool. It was fun. I thought it was gonna go, man, but it just didn't.
Was that like your idea then, or did you just audition for it?
No, actually, Tom May was offered the job, and he couldn't do it because he had some other thing, and he put me in front of the guy and auditioned and got it. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was fun.
Are you gonna do more acting? Like I said, you were in the
wanna
movie
know something?
Bethlehem. You were really good in that movie.
Oh, I played a gay guy. What do you want?
You were really good at it.
That was pretty weird, man, because I had to freak out. Like one scene about the pill addiction thing, and I had to really, really freak out.
Yeah, you had like a real dramatic moment in there.
Yeah, and I just
Gorms, you'd have been proud.
I mean,
this guy has range.
dude, it was weird because you got to get yourself jacked up for that. Like I was outside beforehand thinking about the shittiest, darkest thoughts I could think of, and I went in there and just fucking snapped, and it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I've been thinking about that a little bit lately.
Yeah.
Just for
why not?
fun. I mean, why not? It'd be fun, man.
You good at it?
Oh,
Give it a
we'll
shot.
see. You don't know.
Pack up your hippie life, go to L.A., see what happens.
I'm not gonna do that. Not enough trees in that place for me, man. Dude, I tell you, after a show, we were talking about people being sensitive to stuff, and not long ago, this girl comes up to me after the show, and she goes, "I just said something about a blowjob." She goes, "You have no idea what it's like being a young girl giving your first blowjob." I said, "Okay, you got me there." I remember she said it because it was the first thing she ever said that was right, and I just want to say it. Ow! But I said, "Yeah, I'll never know what that's like." But I can't help but think it's not much different than the first time I ever tried to siphon gas out of a hose. I mean, come on, man. We all just, everybody that tried, like, no, Oh, God, what is that? Oh, it's in my mouth. I can taste it. Oh, it's on my shoe. Did anybody see that? I mean, you know, come on, lady. But I gotta admit, I was better at it the second time I did it. Either way, you get a ride home, right, guys?
Hey, Rich, who's the funniest man or woman on planet in your eyes?
Yours, true. No, I'm just. Man, I don't. You know what? Like guys are.
Who does it right? Who does it right?
Well, I mean, there's so many guys that do it right, but I think Chappelle's the greatest of all time. What did he do? 4 1-hour specials?
He's definitely one of the best, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
He never disappoints. I mean, it's always awesome.
well, when he did that whole, I can make a joke out of kicking him in the pussy. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And then the end of his show, you forgot about it. He
Yep.
just drops it and runs. Oh, dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Chappelle. Local guys, I like. You know who I like? Pat Godwin. I keep asking him to let me open for him, but he won't.
yeah?
He hadn't let me yet. I think he's gonna one of these damn days. Yeah. I keep going, hey, you want me to open? And I'll say something. I'll put something on Facebook. I'll go, if you do that, I'm not going to open for you. But he still won't.
Who's your favorite person you've ever opened for?
I mean, I opened for Chappelle.
Oh, you did?
shit.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
What was
And,
that like?
it's-
Was he cool in the green
He
room?
was
shit?
cool as shit, man.
Really?
He was great. And well, I went to New York early, way before I was ready to go to New York.
Right.
I was just a shitty MC,
Uh-huh.
but I weaseled my way in. I helped this dude. Dude, I got an audition on. I met this guy named Jason Steinberg, and he worked for Barry Katz up there. And I just started hanging around the clubs, and me and this guy hit it off, and everybody. And I just wasn't ready for it.
And Barry Katz. Tell everybody who Barry Katz is. If they don't know.
He's a big fucking.
Yeah.
He's a big,
Big wig and come.
big guy, you know. And I didn't know. I mean, so everybody's doing this. There's a big ABC audition at Stand Up New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's on it. And I said, man, how do I get on that show? He's like, you can't get on that show. And I go, well. So he's talking about moving. He's getting ready to move from one apartment to another, 6th floor to the 6th floor over here. I go, how you moving? He goes, with cabs. I go, with cabs? No shit. I said, well, I just happen to have a big F-150 out here, and not only will I let you use my truck, I'll help you fucking move. He goes, great. I said, if you put me on that show. He picked the phone up. Okay, you're on the show. Bang. Just like that. Just like bang. I got to follow Ray Romano, Brian Regan. Jesus. And I'm a don't know shit.
Yeah.
I walked out. It was a showcase, an industry show, and I walked out and said, how y'all doing? And they stared at me like I was telling jokes in prison. Like, you asshole. And I got off stage and I said, man, how'd I do? He goes, not as well as I hoped. So I've had my credit. But then the funny thing, too, was they didn't have a ride back. We gave them a ride back, and I put Barry Katz and Jason Steinberg in the back of my truck and rode them back through New
Barry
York.
Katz rode in the back of
my
your
pickup.
truck bed?
Damn right he did.
Oh, my God.
You ought to see that big lanky guy trying to climb in a pickup truck. You know he's never done it before. He's like, so yeah, it was pretty cool. He rode down the road. They were pretty handy.
Everybody needs to check you out. They can go on Twitter at Rich Reagan's, RAGAINS.
Mm-hmm. I'm on Instagram now because I'm writing a new book called Bacon Focus. It's
What the fuck is bacon focus?
how to cure your ADD with bacon.
Okay,
All right.
Elaborate.
Okay, so I'm giving a piece of bacon to my dog, and I'm looking at him. He's just like, and I was like, God damn, if I could focus like that. Right? Yeah. If you can focus like that, think what you could get done. So I'm like, okay, what's your bacon? What's your motivation? Right? You want to lose weight? What's your motivation? You got to put a
Adderall.
picture of, yeah, there you go. Cocaine, tile grout, whatever, you know. Just find out what your motivation is. So I'm writing all my little ADD stories in there and mixing them up. And then I'm doing little videos. And what I want to do is get people to take a video of their dog taking their bacon. And then, you know, who knows? This could be fucking huge. I mean, wouldn't you wear a bacon-focused T-shirt?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, hell yeah.
I'll pretty much wear any
Bacon-focused.
T-shirt with bacon on it.
Yeah. Yeah, cover it with a towel. Cover it with bacon. Fuck it. How can it not be fun putting bacon on your dick? Come on. No, but that's what I'm doing. I've been really pouring my heart out in this thing, and I think it's going to end up being cool. It's a hard book to write, but it's going to be short because it's for people with ADD. I mean, this has got dogs, ADD, and bacon. There's no way it can't work.
Yeah, you got all the boxes checked.
Yeah, so send in a pic of your dog eating a piece of bacon, and we'll do Bacon Focus because there's going to be some cool stuff.
All right. Well, I can't wait to read that book. Check him out on Instagram, Bacon Focus. I think it should be Find Your Bacon, right? That's the I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Find your bacon.
It's all about finding your bacon, right? Yeah, there you go.
And your glasses and your keys.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, brother. I always love hanging out with you. I'm so glad you stopped by to do the show before you went back to Louisville. And everybody, if you see that Rich Reagan's is coming near you to tell jokes on a stage, fucking go. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Guarantee it.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Love you, man.
Thank you. Love you, too.
Rich Reagan's, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, that's the show.
That was it. 2 great interviews. Loved having him. Connor's still here, by the way. We're acting like he's not here anymore. He's still right here.
Yeah,
he was in for the long haul.
might just pitch a tent here in the back and just stay for a little while.
Hey, stay till you find out what kind of check you're getting. I don't know what to do. We don't know.
Mortgage is due here soon. End of the month.
All right, that's it for us. Keep doing what you do. We love the listeners. We love you guys, your family. You keep sharing this with your friends. It keeps growing, and we're forever grateful. We're really out this time.